Time for everybody's favorite game. Who the heck is good in the NFL? Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Podcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Maybe the Packers will be on here one day. Maybe. Grossi. And today we are going to be ranking the top 10 teams heading into Week 10. That's right, folks. The halfway mark is in the rearview mirror now in the NFL. And listen, with these primetime games that are coming up in Week 10, we're not going to get any closer to finding out who's a contender or not. But I will say, it's starting to become a little bit more in focus who, like, the good teams are. But I will say there's a ton of mid this season. A ton of it. And I do want to give an honorable mention before we jump into the top 10 to the New Orleans Saints, because for the past 2 weeks, they look like they have an offense again. And I know that Pete Carmichael and that offense has been struggling all season, but these past 2 weeks have kind of given me some hope, because somebody has to win the NFC South, whether it's Taysom Hill looking phenomenal, or that defense, which has been solid all year. The Saints deserved an honorable mention, and so there's your shout out. And now, let's get into the top 10. Starting off with number 10. You got the Seattle Seahawks. That's right, Seahawks. I'm leaving you in the top 10 for now.
But don't disappoint me.
Because you already disappointed your fan base from this past week, getting their ass kicked by the Ravens. And some say the Ravens are still running on them even today. And fans, after that embarrassing loss...
Dude, how do you feel?
It was ugly. The offense could not get anything going. Geno Smith has come under fire from that fan base. It seems like there's a civil war going on, whether it's pro-Geno or anti-Geno. The defense didn't look good, allowing almost 300 rushing yards, but they also couldn't get off the field because the offense for the Seahawks couldn't do anything. Now, the Ravens are a very, very good football team, while sometimes inconsistent, so I'm not going to put too much stock into this. And while it was really nice for the Seahawks to have just that 1 week of being in the division lead, their entire division sucked. The 49ers were on a bye, and while they scored 3 points, there was only an additional 3 points scored all week from the entire NFC West. So Seahawks, you remain in the top 10 for now, but yeah, don't do that again. Number 9, you got the Cleveland Browns hanging in the top 10, and they shut out the Arizona Cardinals.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You get nothing, Charlie. Nothing. The Cardinals with Clayton Tune, yeah, they had a rough day, but they have Kyler Murray coming back, so that will at least be a little bit of optimism. But let's be very honest here. The Browns defense is the best in football. It's looked phenomenal almost all year, except for maybe like that Colts game. They allowed a lot of points. But the real story has been that offense, because the offense has been that part that's been lagging behind for Cleveland. But Deshaun Watson had 2 touchdowns in the air, no interceptions, so looked pretty solid. And Amari Cooper looking real good with some spectacular catches. And yes, they are missing Nick Chubb still. But I will say, if that offense can just be steady, if they can be consistent, they don't gotta be insane, they can win football games and they will go to the playoffs. Now, they are in the most difficult division in the NFL right now, the AFC North, and it is going to be a battle to try and win that division. But right now, if the playoffs started today, all 4 teams would be in the postseason. So the Browns, just keep that ship going steady, and if your offense can improve even more, you're going to be even more of a contender.
I said good day.
Number 8, you got the Dallas Cowboys. And I want to talk to the Dallas Cowboys fans here, because I have to say, the Cowboys this past Sunday, they earned my respect. They did, because it's easy to clown on the Cowboys. I do it just about every single week. But then again, so does America. Is that why they're America's team? Regardless. Here's the thing about the Cowboys. They went toe-to-toe with the Eagles, and the Eagles, not even talking about that last drive where the Eagles were trying to just give them the game, but we're talking about inches. The Cowboys lost that game by inches, whether it was the goal line stop by the Eagles, so really kudos to that defense, or it was Dak stepping out of bounds on that 2-point conversion attempt. The Cowboys went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the NFL, and I got to give them some props for that. So I'm not going to rag on them too much, but I do know that Cowboys fans are probably not feeling so good after losing to the Eagles again.
I am a victim of a hate crime.
That's not what a hate crime is.
Well, I hated it.
And there are really no moral victories in the NFL, but it could have been a lot worse. The Cowboys showed that they can be contenders, and now let's see what they do going forward. Number 7, you got the San Francisco 49ers. They had a bye this week. They're going to be getting healthier after the bye week. And to be completely honest with you, the reason they're in the top 10 is because the rest of the NFC West, while they were gone, scored 6 total points.
Pathetic.
Awful. And the 49ers are going to be just fine. I know that Brock Purdy, there's some questions. Past few games hasn't looked so great, but they should get Trent Williams back. They get Deebo Samuel back. That offense should be better. And they also got Chase Young on that defense to make that pass rush even better. That pass rush, which is the defining quality of that defense, and it will make that secondary look even better if they can get after the quarterback. Now, are there still concerns about the 49ers? Absolutely. But in the NFC, where I think things are still wide open, I think they will be there at the end. They'll be in the playoffs, and they will be contending for that division title. And so, 49ers, you remain in the top 10. Now let's see how you do against the Jaguars. Number 6, you got the Detroit Lions, who were also on a bye this week. And meanwhile, while they were away, the Packers and the Vikings, they won.
Let me tell you something, my friend. Hope is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, I don't know how much hope is left in Green Bay, and definitely not in Chicago. But the Lions still reigning on top of the division, and they also have to feel a little bit better after seeing the Seahawks get slapped by the Ravens, because they got slapped by the Ravens too. And the Ravens just might be that kind of team this year. So the Detroit Lions, I think healing up during the bye will be a big win for them. They're going to be heading into next week, and listen, their division, it's theirs to lose. While Josh Dobbs is having miraculous comebacks for the Vikings, the Lions are still far and away the best team in the NFC North. And so right now, the Lions, you stay outside the top 5, but still remain in the top 10. Let's see how loud you can roar. Number 5, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Jaguars, who are also on a bye, 3 teams in a row now on these power rankings. Jaguars might have some competition now in the AFC South.
And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Because the Jaguars, they went on a bye, and all of a sudden, there was quarterbacks in that division. Will Levis looking pretty solid and thrown into a really bad scenario against the Steelers. Looked good. CJ Stroud was a god. And the Colts, the Colts are still hanging around. But the Jaguars, they're such a frustrating team because their defense is really good, and we know how good their offense can be, but they keep on turning the ball over, but they keep on winning. Still have the longest win streak in the NFL currently, and they are going to have a matchup against the 49ers this Sunday, and that is going to be a defining game. Can they go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the NFL and be victorious? They definitely can take advantage of that bad secondary of the 49ers, and I think a lot of questions will be answered after Sunday, and we'll see if the Jaguars are going to be going up or down after their meeting with the 49ers. Number 4, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs coming away with a big win against the Dolphins in Germany, limiting Tyreek Hill. But the Chiefs, they need to get their offense and defense working in the same game.
If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
Because their defense has been kind of a highlight of their season. Their offense, they've seen the flashes, like against the Bears, for example. They can destroy teams and look like the old Chiefs. But they kind of struggled against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins really shut down the Chiefs in the second half. Now, I have to give kudos to the Chiefs because they shut down Tyreek Hill, who basically did nothing on Sunday. And at the end of the day, they're still going to win their division. The Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL and in the AFC, and it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to win their division most likely. So I'm not terribly worried, but right now, there are a couple teams that look even better in the AFC. So the Chiefs, even after a win, still in the top 5, but sitting at number 4. And if their offense can get rocking again, they'll climb even higher. Number 3, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. climbing all the way up into the top 3 because the Bengals are looking good. And Bengals fans watching Joe Burrow.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before.
Whether it's the stripes on Sunday Night Football or the defense, which has been really good. The Bengals have won 4 straight games. The offense, and Joe Mixon didn't even do a ton on Sunday night. They have this nice balance that's going on. They can take deep shots. They can run the ball on you. And Joe Burrow, looking healthy, is looking phenomenal. So the Bengals, in my opinion, are one of the scariest teams in the AFC. They have this win streak going after a very slow start, but it seems like things are just coming together now for them. Now, I will say the Bengals don't have the easiest schedule coming up, and they are going to get battle tested in that AFC North. But right now, the Kitty Goes Meow has a ton of momentum, and yeah, they're purring. Number 2, you got the Philadelphia Eagles holding off the Cowboys, even though that last drive, that was horrible. The Eagles get a win, and their defense really doing a nice job against the Cowboys, unless it was against CeeDee Lamb, didn't do a nice job there. But they went toe-to-toe with another division rival, and again, I gave my respect and props to the Cowboys, but I also have to shout out that Eagles defense because they were the ones who made those goal line stands and those turnover on downs that plagued the Cowboys because of the Eagles. Now, the offense, listen, another week, another brotherly shove.
Truth is, I just kept crawling and it kept working.
Just get better, league. That offense is so damn good. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith is so explosive. Of course, you have Swift if they want to run the ball down their opponent's throats. And the Eagles, again, they haven't even reached their final form yet. Halfway through the season, they are still one of the best teams in the league. I still think they're the best team in the NFC. It's just going to be a matter of, can they hold on to that best record in football, that number 1 seed in the NFC? And if so, the road to the Super Bowl is going to run through Philly, and we know what happened last time. And finally, number 1. We got a new one. You got the Baltimore Ravens. Congrats, Ravens! You made it to the top of the power rankings, and I know Ravens fans right now are just like, no, stop! Don't give us too much of a spotlight because then we're going to start being bad again. But I have to give you your props here because while they did struggle against the Cardinals last week and it wasn't the most decisive win, they have now won 2 games against contenders in the NFC, destroying the Lions and beating the crap out of the Seahawks. And the rest of the NFC West, they were just looking on.
Whoa! Damn, man, look at that, look!
The Ravens were so damn impressive. That defense was suffocating. And on top of that, that run game. If the Ravens can be consistent, which is a big if, they are the best team in football right now. Their defense is so damn good. Their offense, you see how explosive it can be, whether it's with Lamar Jackson or it could be Gus the Bus Edwards. It doesn't matter. They can beat the crap out of you. And it makes sense coming from the AFC North where it just seems every defense is good and those teams just beat the crap out of each other on a weekly basis. So the Ravens, props to you. You get the number 1 spot. It's well earned. Let's see how long you can keep it because teams, they're going to be gunning for you. And so to recap, at number 1, you got the Ravens, 2 Eagles, 3 Bengals, 4 Chiefs, 5 Jaguars, 6 Lions, 7 49ers, 8 Cowboys, 9 Browns, and 10 Seahawks. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. What team do you think should be in the top 10? Which team should not? Dolphins, I was going to put you in here, but you got to beat a winning team first. I think that's fair. But let me know. You know, I saw me at Tom Grossi Comedy. All social media is see down below. A big shout out and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members for supporting this channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.